As a tuna fisherman, every journey out to sea isn't just a job, it's an adventure full of challenges and memorable stories. From long, tiring trips to intense battles with giant tuna, our work is never short on excitement. But there's one thing most people don't know: this job also carries a huge responsibility: to protect the life of the ocean. Join me as we dive into the world of tuna fishing and uncover the secrets behind what we do to keep the ocean thriving and sustainable. Tuna fishing is more than just casting a line into the sea. It's a job that requires masterful skill, cutting-edge technology, and endless patience. Here are the methods we commonly use to catch ocean tuna. 1. Purse seine netting. Purse seine netting is one of the most modern and effective methods used in tuna fishing. This method is especially applied on large fishing vessels and requires the fisherman's skill, radar, and sonar technology to pinpoint the exact location of tuna schools. How it works. Radar and sonar. Fishing boats use radar and sonar to detect tuna schools. Once the school is located, a purse seine net is cast around the school, forming a bag to enclose the fish. Purse seine net. The net is designed to be pulled quickly and can enclose the tuna school in a short period of time. It operates with a drawstring mechanism, tightly enclosing the fish, preventing them from escaping. Advantages. High efficiency. This method has a very high success rate in catching tuna, especially with large schools. The combination of technology helps fishermen minimize time spent searching and hauling in. Advanced technology. The use of radar, sonar, and GPS helps reduce fuel and time wastage. This optimizes fishing operations, cutting down costs and increasing yields. Disadvantages. Impact on the ecosystem. While effective, if not properly managed, it can lead to ecosystem imbalance. The use of purse seines may accidentally catch small fish or unintended species, harming marine biodiversity. Non-selective fishing. This method can easily catch species other than tuna, leading to resource wastage. 2. Longline fishing. Longline fishing is a traditional but highly effective method for catching tuna, particularly when they are found at greater depths. This technique involves a long line, tens of kilometers long, with thousands of smaller hooks attached to catch tuna. How it works. Long line. A long line, stretching tens of kilometers, is deployed in the water, with thousands of small hooks spaced along its length. The line can be adjusted to the correct depth where tuna typically swim. Live bait, such as small fish, squid, or even artificial bait, is used to attract the tuna closer to the hooks. Monitoring equipment. Today, GPS devices and boat monitoring technologies help fishermen track and pinpoint tuna schools, optimizing the line deployment. Advantages. Selective fishing. Longline fishing helps reduce the risk of catching non-target species or juvenile tuna, as only adult tuna are likely to bite. Fuel efficiency. This method requires less movement than other techniques, leading to fuel savings. Disadvantages. Time-consuming. Longline fishing can be slower than other methods, as it requires waiting for the tuna to bite. Risk of bycatch. Although the method is selective, it still runs the risk of unintentionally catching other species if not carefully managed. 3. Pole and line fishing. Handline with live bait. Pole and line fishing is one of the most sustainable methods for catching tuna, using strong rods and live bait, such as squid or small fish, to lure tuna close to the hook. How it works. Handline rods. Fishermen use strong rods that are capable of catching large tuna. Live bait. Tuna are attracted by live bait like squid or small fish, which lure them to the line and hook. Manual method. This is a fully manual method, requiring precision and high observational skills from the fishermen. Advantages. Sustainable. This is one of the most environmentally friendly methods as it only targets adult tuna and doesn't harm other species. Resource conservation. By catching only mature tuna, this method helps maintain the sustainability of tuna populations. Disadvantages. Labor-intensive. This method requires considerable effort, time, and skill, making it more demanding than other methods. Lower yield. Because it involves targeting one tuna at a time, the yield from this method is generally lower than other techniques. Each modern tuna fishing method has its own strengths and weaknesses. Among these, purse seine netting and longline fishing are more effective in terms of yield, but they also present environmental risks and challenges for marine ecosystems. Pole and line fishing, while more labor-intensive, is the most sustainable method, minimizing the impact on other marine species and protecting tuna populations. With the combination of traditional fishing techniques and modern technologies, professional fishermen are increasingly able to improve efficiency while also protecting the environment and ensuring the long-term sustainability of tuna species. When tuna is hauled aboard from the sea, the processing and preservation stages are critical to ensuring the fish remains fresh, maintains its commercial value, and does not spoil. This is a highly sophisticated process that requires careful techniques and strict protocols. Below is an in-depth analysis of these stages, providing a better understanding of the importance and skills involved in preserving tuna after it has been caught. When the tuna is caught, it must be handled immediately to prevent spoilage. Professional fishermen often use crane systems or hoisting nets to bring the fish aboard quickly and safely. The tuna must be handled carefully to avoid injuries or damage, as this can impact the quality of the product. Hauling process. Depending on the size and weight of the tuna, automatic or manual hoisting equipment is used. Large tuna can weigh several hundred kilograms, so careful handling is essential. Preliminary inspection. As soon as the tuna is aboard, the crew performs a quick inspection to detect any injuries, abrasions, or signs of illness. Any damaged fish are discarded, as they are more susceptible to bacterial contamination and rapid spoilage. Once the tuna is aboard, the head is removed, the belly is cut open, and the internal organs are discarded to prevent bacterial growth. This process must be done quickly and under sterile conditions to maintain hygiene and prevent contamination. Head removal and gutting. The head of the tuna is typically removed to facilitate transportation and preservation. The belly is then cut open to remove the internal organs. This helps reduce the risk of organ spoilage and keeps the meat in optimal condition. Sanitization. After gutting, the areas that come in contact with the internal organs must be thoroughly cleaned. This step is essential to prevent bacterial contamination, especially from pathogens like E. coli or Salmonella, which can lead to rapid spoilage. After the head and internal organs are removed, the tuna is washed clean to remove any blood, waste, or debris. This process helps preserve the quality of the fish and prevents bacterial growth. Thorough washing. To keep the fish fresh, it is rinsed under cold seawater. This helps remove blood and other contaminants that could affect the fish's freshness and quality. Use of cold seawater. Cold seawater is used to help maintain a stable temperature, prevent bacterial growth, and keep the tuna from getting warm or starting to deteriorate. Once the tuna is cleaned, it needs to be immediately preserved to prevent spoilage. This is a crucial step to maintaining the freshness of the tuna during transport from the boat to shore and ultimately to the market. Ice. The tuna is covered in ice to maintain a low temperature and prevent the growth of bacteria and fungi. The ice is replaced frequently throughout the journey to ensure the temperature remains stable. Refrigeration systems. For larger vessels, refrigeration systems are used to maintain a consistent temperature for the tuna throughout the trip. Modern boats also use cold storage rooms to store the tuna at temperatures between 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, keeping the fish fresh and preventing spoilage. Once the boat docks, the tuna is taken to processing facilities or cold storage to undergo further treatment and preservation. The processing after docking will depend on market demand but typically includes steps like cutting, packaging, and vacuum sealing. Cutting. Tuna is often cut into portions, such as the body, head, and tail, based on market needs. Tuna can also be processed into sushi or sashimi, depending on consumer demand. Vacuum packaging. One of the modern preservation methods is vacuum packaging, where the tuna is sealed in plastic bags with the air removed. This prevents air and bacteria from entering the package, prolonging shelf life. Finally, after the tuna has been processed and preserved, it is ready to be transported to fish markets, supermarkets, or restaurants. The transport process must also ensure that the tuna remains at a low temperature and is stored in optimal conditions to prevent any decline in quality. Cold transport. The tuna is transported in refrigerated trucks or cold containers, ensuring a stable temperature throughout the journey. Temperature monitoring. Modern temperature monitoring systems are used to ensure that the tuna remains at the ideal temperature from the moment it leaves the boat until it reaches the consumer. The process of handling and preserving tuna from the moment it is caught to when it reaches the market is a tightly controlled, meticulous operation. Every step of this process directly impacts the quality of the fish and its commercial value. Cold preservation, proper cleaning, and the use of modern technologies such as refrigeration systems and vacuum packaging are key elements in ensuring that the tuna remains fresh and of high quality, meeting the demands of the market. Over the years, I've seen tuna populations diminish. Tuna is becoming increasingly scarce due to overfishing and climate change. But the situation can improve if we act quickly. To protect tuna, countries have implemented measures such as banning fishing during the spawning season so tuna can reproduce and thrive, limiting fishing zones, prohibiting fishing in critical spawning areas to help them grow sustainably. In addition, selective fishing practices are being enforced to avoid catching juvenile tuna or non-target species. Technology is helping us fish more efficiently and sustainably. We use GPS, radar, and AI to track the movement of tuna schools. These tools not only help us locate tuna more accurately, but also reduce the risk of overfishing by pinpointing the exact location and time to fish. Additionally, forecast models help predict tuna movements, allowing us to go to the right place at the right time without stressing the fish population. One of the solutions to ease the pressure on wild tuna populations is tuna farming in controlled environments. While this method still faces challenges like high costs and fish health, it's a promising path to maintain a stable supply of tuna to the market without overexploiting wild stocks. We, the tuna fishermen, can't do this alone. The community, government, and consumers must also be involved in this process. We need support from the community to maintain ocean conservation programs and learn sustainable fishing methods. By choosing sustainably certified products like MSC, consumers can play a key role in protecting the ocean and ensuring tuna's survival. After more than 20 years as a fisherman, I know that my job isn't just about making a living, it's a huge responsibility to the ocean. We need to act now, together, to protect this valuable resource so that future generations can still enjoy tuna and other ocean products.